Okay, we're figuring out our tube thickness. So this is 125 hole, which is a 32 wall, is what they're calling it. And the thin one is 28 wall. So not a large difference, but it does make a difference. It's 132 hole instead of 125. What did I do with the caliper? See the hole on top of the lifter? Pretty good size hole. That's to feed. 1/8 inch per rocker versus 2 rockers with an 1/8 inch. I don't know what the rest of the holes through here are. You know, I'm sure it's more restrictive as you go through it. So if we feed through both push rods and head, it doesn't make any damn difference at all. If you feed through this one, you got good feed. If you feed through this, the difference in flow is not that much difference. But the thing is, it's supposed to be a 3/16 hole feeding it, not an 1/8 inch hole. So there is still a difference in there. Alright, so this is our material. Let's see here. What did I use to deburr that? Still hard to hold on to. Okay, see the hole now? Deburred, sharp edge off, we get the nice taper cut. Okay, so we had 2.4 maximum length we could go. Before we have a problem. We had 2.5. We hit the Allen at 2.5. Pull back 100. So that's our absolute maximum is 2.4 inches. So we bring that back to like 2 1/4 or 2.3 to be safer. We can actually run slightly below the surface here and not worry about punching the hole off on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
So now that's the one direction. Now which way does the head flow? Now, we haven't checked the other direction yet. This thing has multiple flow paths, remember? You. Okay, so see how that one's on top?
Mm-hmm.
And see how far it goes in? It barely goes into anything. So that means it's only hitting by like this much. And then the other one's coming up into this one over here. Assuming that's where it comes in at. And then actually check it for full depth. Let's see, should I measure with this one? Okay, that's a long ways into it. See how far we're coming out?
Mm-hmm.
So 3/4 of an inch or better. From there to there. Yeah, it's a good 3/4 of an inch. So that means this one comes in over here, and the other one comes over here. So that's how your feed works. You want to make sure you don't restrict that coming in that area. So the feed's going up, so it's not going to hurt to be right up next to the hole. If it had to go down and make a turn and go into the hole, you want to bring it down so there's room to go in, like a plenum area.
Mm-hmm.
But being it's flowing the other way, you don't really care. So we can put it right at 2.4 and it probably would work. But I think I'd rather be down there 2 1/4, 2.3, be safer. Not have to worry about it being right on the edge. At least that's on this head. Okay, so now you can either cut this with a chop saw, or we can cut it with the wheel over there. mark's 2.3. It's just under, it's about 2.8 right on the edge of it. So now this is going to collapse the tubing, which means I got to go in back and open it up again. If you chop saw it, then you have less control exactly the length you're cutting it at. See this one, I can put it right on my mark and I know where it is, pretty close. I can control it, as long as it doesn't roll.
Right.
Sometimes it will start screwing on you. It's hard to hold onto this tubing. One trick I can do is get some more leverage. Yeah, rotates now. Keep the pressure down, you don't collapse it quite so far, but it still puts pressure on it. Still going to collapse it. Okay, that goes back over there. So now we got a holding fixture. See, I have to hold this at 10 foot down now.
Right.
Do the other way. You'd have to hold it.
Yeah.
See how it collapsed the way down again?
Mm-hmm.
File that. See, it's soft. Real soft. So you get a flat spot going on it. Deburr it slightly. Okay, now you gotta put the drill in there. This has a lip on it. Hear it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Take our big one. So we have 2 drill chucks.
Is it not better to drill it out after you bit it in?
I don't think so. I'm gonna have to come back and do it anyway, but you get down inside of a hole, it's hard to do it. You can't deburr it really well. You have to hit it with a drill bit to do it. Okay, where's the one you're using? You still have to come back and do it again, but
Right.
I like this method better. That's better than the other one that was done. But that was this size. Okay, we're 120. See, I didn't squeeze it down nearly as much as the other one. That 120 went right in there. Before I had to fight to get in there, remember? 125. That's our 1/8 inch. So much easier to do than the last two.
Yeah.
Okay. See, it's hard to do this part when the head's in the way.
Right.
this is the direction the oil is going to be flowing in. You want this to be opened up as best you can. I can put a drill bit in there and lightly do it, but best to do it this way. Okay, so there is our part. This is still straight as far as we know. See, it only goes into that far and doesn't want to go much further.
Mm-hmm.
So usually what I do is I put the capillary Loctite in first, because this sets up slowly. Let's see, do I want to put that in or put that on this? Put that on here, I think. This is going to be our starting end. Be enough of that. Okay, I'm going to use the brass punch. Try to tap it in. Using a smaller hammer. I'm going to go in. Pretty snug. It's all mushed out at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So now we mush it some more. Alright, it's in there as far as it's going to go. So that went in there pretty hard. I don't think I need to have the sleeve retainer on that.
No.
one. So that was extremely hard. Now you look in there. So now we got to put a little bit of Loctite down there. And got to sit at the right angle, which is about this angle, I think. Or like this. So the Loctite will try to go into the tube and seal it. So you have to have the head held something like this to keep it from moving. So there we go. It sits right there naturally. There. Holding fixture, you like it?
I do.
Okay,
Multi-purpose.
now I got to get the Loctite in there. I need a longer screwdriver than that. So I'm going to get the other screwdriver. I can also use a piece of welding rod to get in there with. No, I need the long one.
Oh, right.
Long and skinny. You have to control where we put the Loctite. Or you can pour half a bottle in there if you want. I kind of like just putting what I need in there. So. It'll drop right there. If you don't touch the wall too many times, you can stick it right where you want it. See right there? It's right on the hole.
Mm-hmm.
You see most everything was on the screwdriver, it went down in the hole. And you see how it's not sucking in? If there was a gap there, it would have sucked it right in already. It's not sucking in. So we're gonna let that sit overnight, and whatever wants to go in there and dry it will. Whatever's exposed to the atmosphere won't dry. Lack of oxygen what makes it sit up. We'll have to come back and surface this off on the head right here, flush, and repunch the hole.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll take care of that. That should stop the leakage. Now we went in there 2¼ inches at least. So we are about that far in. So we're on the edge. So we're basically just past the edge of this fin here. And the hole is on this fin, in the middle of this one. So we're just about a 30-second past this maybe, or it's flush. It's hard to tell how much it compressed.
Right.
It's beating on it. So we are past the hole, is what matters. So 2¼ I think it was like 280 I used, so that's about where we want to be at. So it's in there pretty good.